What do you see from the special teams units you're about to face this weekend?
I think Phil's done a great job over there. They continue to get better week to week. They got a lot of size. They got a lot of speed on the edges. They got a really, really good returner in Shadid. Obviously the fastest guy in the NFL so far in a game. So they're doing some great things, man. And like I said, just young players that are playing their butts off. Rizzi was there beforehand, so Phil, replaced him as kind of his assistant. So they're kind of doing some of the same stuff they've done in the past, but in a good way, and he's doing a great job with them.
Jeremy, did you look at Kroger at all in college?
Yeah, we just had Bryce Behringer at punter, so.
No, the reason I asked
okay.
is he's being a former quarterback in high school. The fake was something he tried a lot.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, in college.
Yeah, you always got to prepare. You look at guys in college, and that if they can throw the football, you always prepare the week of, when you're playing a team like that, just in case you get it. I think most teams do that. But yeah, he was a good quarterback in high school, and he's done a good job so far, even as a punter in the NFL.
Jeremy, what have you seen from Andy just in terms of confidence, over the last 3-4 weeks?
I credit a lot to the kid. Obviously, we always tell guys and tell myself too not to ride the roller coaster of a football season, like the ups and downs of football. And he never got too down after some early, mistakes there. And I think our assistant Tom Quinn's done a great job with him, working with him day in and day out, build his confidence, make sure to work on his technique and stuff like that. I don't take any credit for that. I just think Andy's done a great job coming to work every day. I think we got a good supporting cast of guys that understand how to lead him, coach him, and they're all doing their part. So I think he's building confidence, and hopefully it continues to go with the flow of that. And like I said, don't ride the highs and lows of the football season, because again, things could happen. He's still a rookie, and we still got to take one game at a time.
Your reaction to seeing him see that kick go through that 52-yarder in the game to win it against Buffalo?
Just proud for everybody on the team, all the players on the team that deserve to win that game. They put in the work, and they're doing the same thing this week. So all eyes on New Orleans right now, and I'm happy for them last week, and hope they continue to practice the way they are. And today's a big day because it's Thursday and it's a big practice. We got a high sense of urgency, and we got to come out and have a great day today to beat the New Orleans Saints.
You guys have a lot of layers of depth when it comes to the return spot, but when you lose a guy like Antonio Gibson, what does that mean?
Man, it's big. It was unfortunate to lose him. He was such a vital part of what we've been doing, and a great leader in the back end with a lot of experience. So it's the next man up. That's the way the mentality is in football and all sports. Next man up, and we're getting those guys ready to rock and roll. And hopefully, having him around still, he can still provide that leadership that he's done so well in the last 2 years.
What do you think Travion might be able to provide further in terms of the return team?
The same that he's been doing. He's been a vital asset of being that other returner to us, and when they kick it to him, he's got the opportunity to return the ball. So when he gets the ball in his hands, we expect him to do big things, and he's always got that one play ability to take it all the way, as we've seen before.
Mike Vrabel mentioned
that kickoff.
You cut off, bro.
Our flow, that kickoff return or roll, we've seen the running backs back there, because in a lot of ways it's like a running play. How open would you be to a receiver like Kyle stepping in there if that was
I think everyone on our depth's got to have a role in the return game if you're a receiver or running back. I think you're always looking at all those guys. Whether you're running back, receiver, and they're all going to be back there. And then week by week, you're just trying to figure out who's your best two to go into this game with it. Who do you feel most confident with? And you roll from right there. But I think both got to be ready. You always like a bigger guy back there because they're taking hits now, a lot of hits, because you're covering every kick. But at the same time, you can't miss out on guys' dynamic ability to be able to do what you want him to do in terms of the return and go from there.
Mike Vrabel mentioned that he could tell that Andy Borregales was confident based on his swing. Would you agree with that? And for the layman, what is it about the swing where you can tell that he's really feeling it?
Yeah, I just think the consistency of it. I think where his plant foot's at every time, how he's striking the ball, how he's following through. And it all starts with his stance and starting alignment. I think that's what we always look for. And if that's consistent, even on film, then that means he's confident. And that means he's confident in what he's doing, and he's doing the same thing over and over again.
He said it was his best kick of the day. Warm-ups, anything else, the game winner. How important is that repetition to keep it that steady, whether you're performing in practice, warm-ups, or in that situation?
I think, I'll go back to the supporting cast and himself, how they work on Wednesdays and Thursdays and even Fridays. That just being consistent with how the workload is, how we're coaching them whenever we come back in the office the next day to watch the film. All that being consistent and make sure that he's doing what he can off the field to maintain, his body, his strength, things like that. That all plays a huge part, I think. And then so when you come on Sunday, you're confident because you're prepared and you've been doing it all week.
I know Andy and Bryce are both big golfers. Are there any parallels there, any corollaries between golfing and being able to do what they do, at least from a consistency standpoint.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, like when you swing a golf club, if you're like that far off, right, it goes into the woods, and then if it's not, it goes into the green. So the same thing belongs to kicking too. Like if your foot is off just a little bit, or the hold's off just a little bit, like it comes in high, we get it down slow. I mean, every one of those parts, the snap, the hold, the kick, is so vital, just like it would for a swing of a golf club.
Jeremy, you guys kind of settled on Dell on that opposite gunner spot from Brendan Schooler?
I mean, to me, it's like we were always training the guys, and to me, it's like the guys been performing the best throughout the week, kind of rolls, and we just kind of continue to eval those guys. And you know, it is week 6, but in the NFL, it's kind of still early in a way, so you're still trying to like see which guys can do it consistently week in and week out. So Dell's been up for that, but we got other guys that are working right now, and we'll see how that goes.
Terrell Jennings worked with you guys a little bit last season, worked with you guys a little bit in the preseason. Just how have you seen him grow as a special teams player the last few years?
He's done a lot of good things, man. Especially from last year. He came from 4 a.m. It seemed like he didn't know anything about special teams, but he's developed. He's come in and worked, and he's really done a fine job. Even just being on the P squad for us in the last several weeks of just going to work and getting better at his craft. So, you know, him, you know, with AG being down, if he's a guy that comes up, then that's always an opportunity for him to come in and rock and roll.
What was it like putting Ramondre back there for a minute in the last game? How did he come out there?
Yeah, I mean, again, you want guys that can take hits, right? So again, you know, whatever happens, you know, we feel comfortable back there if we practice him all week, and he's doing the right things on and off the field, and for us on teams, and that's what I look for. You know, he did everything, he's done every rep in practice. So, hey, man, in that situation, you're only down to 2 running backs, and you know, you don't have a lot of guys. You don't have 48 guys on the roster, so you're not going to put a center or a long snapper back there. So you got to find which guys can do it that you feel confident in rock and roll.
Hey, Jimmy, regarding Bryce, the field position was a huge factor the other night with his punting, I think 3 inside the 20. How much has he improved in that area? And then secondarily, like his influence on Andy and Julian, 2 rookies, how important has he been in shepherding them?
Yeah. I'll start with that second question, just because, you know, when we had 2 young guys come in early, he's having to be the one to like kind of pave the way for those guys. So I lean on him heavily for show them the way, like show them how to work when you're not in practice, show them how to work on their days off. So he's really taken ownership of that, done a great job. And then in terms of his work ethic, I mean, he's always working. He's a guy I got to tell him to kind of calm down because he'll overkick, he'll do it over and over again. But it's a positive at the end of the day. Like he's always striving to get better in the plus 50, in the open field, understanding the situations. In game, really good communicator of like what he really wants to do from punt to punt, depending on the wind, depending on the weather. So, you know, I let him take it over. You know, he's a really good punter. I'm not a good punter. Like I'm not gonna go out there and punt the ball. So I listened to him for a lot of advice, and he's done a good job just taking ownership of that.
What have you seen from Julian Ashby in terms of consistency and impact so far?
He's continuing to get better. I mean, same thing as rookies. You guys don't get to see it all just because, you know, you don't get to watch a snap and watch the protection part of it. But like, he's gradually gotten better and better and more confident. But I continue to have my foot on him 24/7 because that snap position is crucial. As you can see, for snap, hold, and kick, it all starts with the snap. So for me, it's like every day is you know, hopefully we can get, you know, one day better, and I'm just going to stay on him. And I think he needs that, and I think he enjoys that. But he works hard. He doesn't complain. He just goes to work. He doesn't say a word sometimes. And sometimes that's the best thing about a long snapper. You just don't say much. Snap the ball, protect, have a good time, do exactly what you need to do, and let's roll.
Jeremy, I know you mentioned the stance when it comes to approaching, you know, big kicks like Andy made. Do you talk with them at all about like kind of breathing, you know, kind of being present?
They have their guys for that.
Okay.
You know, I'm not like, do I like breathing and all that stuff? Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it.
That's good.
I enjoy the meditation part. I do, but I'm not certified to do that, so I'm not gonna be like I know it all. But they got people for that. We have a staff that works with the guys like the mental performance side of the ball, and I know those guys see those guys and they work on that part of it. I probably should too, though. Yeah, to be honest. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.